Mind United for the player rating show. There's some new music there. That is nice. I like that music. Very, very good. Gets the beat uplifting before we rate Chris Kavanagh later on. But firstly, Matt, how are you?
Not bad. Obviously, we've just seen the Valbuena news, so
yeah,
it's supposed to make things better, but it's more annoyed that it happened in the first place. But can't complain. How about yourself?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was West Ham United 0. Chelsea won, another setback in our Champions League hopes. The one thing I'm most interested for is to be rating this man later on, but we will get onto him last because I'm sure there'll be some low ratings for that. But let's see who's in the chat. Scott's in. Red card rescinded now. About the momentum that was killed. Yeah, I completely agree. Luke, evening, ladies. Hope you're well. And yeah, so. Disappointing, we've got to say, Matt, but we'll get straight on into it then. And we'll rate Lucas Fabianski. I think he's gone from like one extreme to the other. I mean, awful blunder against Newcastle. I thought he was really, really good to get on Saturday.
Yeah, he did. He couldn't do anything about the goal. Cut back across the box. He was no protection. Yeah. But apart from that, he made some really good saves, didn't he? I mean, he got quite lucky in the second half. Well, lucky and unlucky because he had that save, didn't he, where he pushed it up with one hand and he hit the other hand, and then Burnley nearly scored. But he did everything that was asked of him. Made all the saves he needed. Solid 7. He's reliable. Like you said, he's one to the other. He's either good old Fabianski and every now and again, like I said, he makes a blunder, but hopefully that's his last one. He's got it out of the way before the last little bit of a running. And have he's back to being reliable again.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, a lot of people saying he's back to flappy hand ski, but he's put them back in their place now with I thought, a really good performance. So let's rate Fabianski. Luke's gone for a 9 for Fabianski there. Very high rating. Anton's gone 8. Father Snowman 8. Mark says, hey, Matt and Jake, everyone. Hello, Mark. Hope you are well. Luke says, Mount kept trying. Fab was brilliant. Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah, I mean, we've gone up to a 9, and you've gone for a 7. Anton said, what about that fingertip save? Then he brought the ball back into play. Yeah, he's a fantastic save, but it was close to conceding a goal. But yeah, a good performance back from his blunder last week. I'd agree with that, and let's hope that he can come back next week and do it again against Burnley. But we'll move on to the left-hand side now of the back five, and we'll start with Ryan Fredericks coming back into the 11. Ryan Fredericks then, Matt. I think, if I'm being honest, I think he had a really, really good game in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to contradict myself a bit. I've given him a 6, but I've not really rated anyone particularly highly. But that being said, he was one of our better attacking options, to be fair.
Yeah. They looked a bit scared of him, didn't they? He was going down, and he was the only player that really had a bit of attacking intent.
Tuchel made like a big tactical error. To be fair, I don't think any of us expected Fredericks to start left back.
No.
Tuchel clearly didn't either because he picked Azpilicueta.
Yeah.
And obviously, every time Fredericks wanted to go past him, he just went, Azpilicueta does not have the pace to compete with him. His final ball can be iffy at times. But you know what? I gave him a 6. He had a solid enough day without, there was a couple of times people got past him. But no, playing out of position, give him a solid 6.
Yeah, I think he had a really good game. I thought, as I said, he had some attacking intent there. I thought he was getting down with his pace really, really well. But Scott says, sorry, unpopular opinion. In my opinion, Fabs should have saved the last 4 goals that got by him. I know different defenders make things tough, but those were all savable 5. So for Fabianski, interesting opinion, interesting. But in terms of Ryan Fredericks, a 7 from Anton. A 6 says, Luke, okay, no idea what his role was. I think it was just to get down and get balls into the box, if I'm being completely honest, and try and get into their half and try and create something. Scott says, Fredericks had a decent game. Allison Pace, 6 out of 10. I completely agree. Fredericks offers more in both directions than Johnson. Yeah, I think I'm inclined to agree with that. I mean, defending wise though, Matt, I mean, he didn't do bad, but we know he's not one for defending, really, is he? But that's why he's why he's in the wing back position.
You can get more out of him as a wing back. I think as a fullback, like a back four, he struggles because it's almost like even though he's supposed to be a fullback, his defending is not his first thought of call. His first thing is to attack, and it's just generally speaking because he is literally that quick. A lot of times his pace will get him out of trouble from defenders tracking back. But when you utilise him as a fullback on a back five, when you expect him to do more, he probably is a good option going forward.
Yeah. I like this comment from Mark. It says, Frederick 7 out of position, did okay, no goals on his side. Yeah, the goal did come from the other side. We will get onto the, I'm going to say, miscommunication in a second. But James says, Scott Randall the score with 0-1, not 0-4. I think he means like previous games, yeah. Scott says that's taken into account previously. Oh, we've gone for the 0.5s. Father Snowman's gone for the 0.5s. Oh,
I can't have 0.5.
James says Frederick 7. Yeah, I mean, we conceded, but I think overall we did all right with, I mean, we didn't have much pressure put on us, if I'm being honest. I mean, Chelsea had most of the ball, Matt, but didn't do bags and bags with it, did they?
No, that's their style of play now that St Joe's brought in. They play this methodical, probing passing game. So, and as a team, the way we're set up, we're quite happy to let them have that and do that. Like we don't mind that. It's the pace that problems us, and that was the time they really did cause issues when they counter-attacked us with pace quickly, you know. But no, it was, you know what, it wasn't a great game, to be honest. It was very tactical. Both managers trying to outthink each other. It was like
a bit defensive. Is that what you're going at? A bit defensive.
It was like a training ground game at some points because it was like attack versus defence. Like we had our 2 banks of 5 with no centre forward. You know, we'd like Bowen tucking in as well, and we're like, yeah, you have the ball, you try to pass through us. So it's a difficult defensive game, I think. But we'll move on in the back 5. Looking a bit more back to his best. It is Angelo Ogbonna. Looks good in my opinion. I think one of our best players on the pitch. 100% better than what he looked like against Newcastle. But what are you giving Ogbonna, Matt? Well, I think you're right. I think the Newcastle game, it was a risk to play, and he did have a really bad game. But he needed that game to get back to sort of towards where he's at. I'll be honest, it was such a poor game. I haven't really given anyone a great rating. You know, I gave him a 6. It's you know, he's a huge player. He's on the way back. I think even against Burnley, he'll probably be. That's another week's training. I reckon he'll be back to like prime Ogbonna come the Burnley game. But you know, he's strong. He looks quicker. He looks fitter. Like just generally across the pitch. I think we noticed that in the Newcastle game. That after like half an hour, he looked knackered, and he did look a lot better today. But I think he did like. It's hard to penalise him for it, but like the goal they scored, he should have just pulled down Werner in the middle of the pitch. You know, the two times we counter-attacked them and we fully got on their back line, Lingard was going through, they just took him out. They were like, no, we will take the booking. You are not getting that attack.
And Stell's alluded to it, hasn't
he? He was too honest on one. He was like, oh no, I'm not touching his shirt, ref. And then he lost his man tracking back and he scored. But maybe we need to be more of a dirty team. I know, but Moyes wants us to be honest. That's Moyes' thing.
That's what Stowe alluded to, didn't he? Because one of the shows, I think, he said, they pulled their men down, they put tactical fouls in, and Moyes wants us to be an honest team, and perhaps we, need to do that, need to put that challenge in to halt the attacks at the right times and, take a tactical yellow card. But Father Snowman says, Oggy, steady, 8, 7, Oggy, 7, lots of 7s coming in. And Luke says, Oggy, 6, got turned for the goal, needs more game time, but otherwise steady. Oggy, 6 out of 10, better than last game, but not yet back to the player of the year level he had been on when he and Dawson are back together. Things will tighten up. I completely agree. And I've just seen what Anton said. We'll get to that. Oh, no. He needs Reed by his side. Who he needs by his side is a back to his best next week. Me and Stowe had a debate on my show about an hour ago. I said Dawson comes straight back in next week. They've got Chris Wood there. He will be back. He's had his break. Dawson comes straight back in. He went for Diop, but I'm saying that Dawson comes back in. Yeah, he needs Reed by his side. I mean, he's doing quite well at Brentford, I think. But Stowe ain't here, so Anton can say what he likes. But we will move on. Now this is where the controversy starts. Sent off in the 81st minute, but otherwise we're going to rate his 81 minutes he had on the pitch. It's Fabian Balbuena. Balbuena then, Matt. Just putting the red card to the side for a second. What did you think of his performance?
I mean, I've given him a 6. As I said, though, I've been quite harsh on the ratings today because I don't think he played a very good game in general. But having said that, he actually, for his 80 whatever minutes it was on the pitch, I thought he actually played quite well. I thought, again, a player's come in having been asked to step up from the bench or the reserves, and they've come straight in again. We've seen it quite a lot with a lot of players. It's actually really this season. Everyone seems actually, considering they're not played, everyone seems match ready. Everyone's like, as soon as it's like, oh, it's my chance, they're stepping up. Competition for places, pushing everyone. I thought, he was quite good in the air. There's quite a few times when he was making the right tackles, playing some good balls forward as well into the midfield. I think he had a solid game. I don't think that position that's up for Burnley is really solidly set down by anyone yet. I think it's be interesting to see who Moyes plays there because I think all of them are in with a shout of playing.
Well,
I don't think Balbuena had done himself any harm with his performance, but I gave him a 6 because I say it's weird. They didn't have many clear-cut chances, but their style of play meant they didn't have many. So they didn't have that. It's weird. We lost the game. We didn't play that well, but we didn't have that. The defense didn't have that much to do. Most of their shots were from 20, 25 yards. There was very few chances in the box. Obviously, the one that they did get, they scored. But if I'm giving Oggy a 6, I have to give Balbuena a 6.
Father Snowman says bring back Ginger Pele. I like it. So 7, Balbuena 7 despite the goal. Balbuena did nothing wrong. 7. Scott says Fabian 6 struggled at times but moved the ball forward well and was mobile. I would suggest he was at fault for the goal more than Ogbonna. He can be dominant at times. Isn't played enough. In his opinion, Father Snowman says need to be attack-minded at Burnley. I completely agree. James says Balbuena 7, same as Oggy. There's a very good centre-half pairing there. Gary, hope you well. Balbuena got a foot out the door. 6, yeah. I think it's fair to say he probably has got.
If you take that into account even more, though, I would say that even more that should maybe give him a higher rating. If he is halfway out the door, like people say that he reckon he's leaving in the summer on a free.
Yeah.
Because if he's going in the summer, what difference does it make for him if he plays well or not? So the fact he is putting in a performance, but
it's good. It's good to see. It is good to see the backups. I mean, this is one position that we can afford to have suspensions. I mean, we haven't got it anymore, but suspensions and injuries, and we've had them. Ogbonna, Creswell, these positions, and we're quite well squadded up. Let's say there than perhaps in other positions, striker and in central midfield. But we'll move on, and we will rate our next player in the defence. It's a Diop. What did you think of Diop, Matt?
Well, to complete my back three, Diop's picking up a 6 as well.
Oh, hey.
They've all got the same.
Keep the 6 trend. Keep the 6 trend.
He was playing some nice balls out from the back. You know, we all know this though. He's quite good on the ball. He can bring it forward.
Yeah.
But then he jumps in a lot, and sometimes that invites the opposition on because he overcommits and leaves a hole in behind him. And he's still, obviously he's young. I think he's like 20 is it 24? For a starting centre back, that is quite young, and he does still need a lot of guiding and vocal instructions on what to do. But having said that, he was still pretty solid. I could really blame. I know I blamed Ogbonna for getting turned by Werner, but in fairness, I could blame any of the back three for the goal because they all ran into the box and no one looked behind them for the cutback.
Yeah. But
I think again, a bit like Oggy, every time he plays now, he seems to be getting more settled. Like he's one of the players that needs to run in the team. He can't just. He's one that can't really just jump in and get going. He needs a few games, and he seems to get better. Like like Pete just said there, he's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And every time he plays, he seems to slowly add something else to slowly get better. So,
yeah,
I've given the other 2 6, so I'll complete the back 3, and he can have a 6 as well.
I feel like the chat community are giving all the centre backs 7, and you're giving them 6. But
I said I ranked them harshly, so
Anton said 7. Luke said Diop says okay, but can anyone explain why he keeps rushing out of formation to chase the ball? It's quite funny when you see. To be fair, in the last minute, we just kind of stuck him up front. He just ran and he just stayed there. He didn't go back for an attack. He just stayed there. So you might as well just keep him up front as we're playing a back 5. Guy says we have some great youth defenders. I don't get it. I think that's in regards of Fabian Balbuena. Diop 7. Diop has been quite decent for us. Not great at turning quickly, but dominant in the air. Average game for him, 6 out of 10. Diop 6. How many clean sheets with him in the team? James says Diop 7. And everyone's saying hello to Peach. Hope you're well, Peach. And here he is. Reese, I hope you're well. Have you recovered from your 2 hours of the West Ham Weekly last night? I'm sure you were there. But yeah. So we'll move on into the defence. And the final player that we are going to rate from this defence is that man, Vladimir Coufal. A bit of an average game, but did nothing wrong. I feel a bit of miscommunication for the goal. I think was it Diop and Coufal just let the ball through. None of them went through to Werner to score. But what do you think, and what are you gonna rate him at?
Well, see, to break the ranks of the rest of my back 5, who's like all had 6s, I'll give Coufal 7.
He's breaking the trend, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm actually giving Coufal 7. He's becoming Mr. Dependable, isn't he? Like, there's some positions where we're like, oh, this person can play, this person can play. Whereas I think now, if you say right back, you just say Coufal. He just is there.
Yeah.
He's becoming one of the most consistent right backs in the league as well. Like, he just consistently comes out. You know what you're going to get going forward and backwards. 100% effort. He's got a good. The only worry for him, I think he might have done it again in this game. If he gets in a box, he gets a nosebleed. He's too out.
I know.
He doesn't know what to do.
Just shoot. He got a ball. Just shoot. He tried to pass it to someone else. He just hasn't got it. It's just not in his. It's just not in his bones to shoot. Is it?
Can we put him on some attacking training?
Bless him, honestly, bless him. But yeah, good performance. I thought. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Coufal 7. I can't give him less than a 7 ever. He is fantastic. I love him. Coufal 7, high end 7, 7. All the 7s are coming in. Coufal kept them quiet. He didn't go beast mode. I just wish he would have had a shot. 7. fed up of saying 7 here. 7. But please, someone teach him not to get a nosebleed. He gets into some great positions and pulls it up. Yeah, he definitely does. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're working on it in the background. I'm sure, but we've done the defence now. We've had 6s and we've had 7s in the defence. But just before we go into the midfield and attack, make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham United if you want to. Oh, see, I can play that music. Stell isn't there. Well, at least I don't think he's here. I can play that music without any, you know, abuse. Well, somebody will. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Put perfectly there. Reese says, you have been saying 7 more than Anton yells. Get rid of it. Yeah, who is Stell? Yeah, I mean, 2 hours last night. I think he did 40 minutes today. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? But in all seriousness, we will get back to business, and we will start with the midfield, and we'll start with that man, Mr. West Ham, Mark Noble. We sit here week after week and say it's just another Mark Noble performance. We know what we're going to get, but what are we giving that man?
So before I start, I did say I was harsh this week. I've been half on ratings.
I've just seen what you've given him. Oh, here we go.
You can never question it, right? You can never question Mark Noble's effort, right? And I said, you know what you're going to get. But the game literally passed him by.
Here's a statement.
They were just running circles around him. They were not bothered about Mark Noble being in that team whatsoever. The discrepancy in the level between Mark Noble and Declan Rice is like a million miles. The fact that Souček's not doing anything going forward at the moment because there's no Declan Rice, because he's having to sit back and work with Noble. I feel sorry for Noble. Like I did. He has some good games recently, but that Chelsea midfield, Chelsea have got a young, hungry, fast team, and it just entirely showed that he was just getting nowhere near anything. That being said, I've given him a 5, but it's not the lowest rating of the day, so I'm not doing that again. But I've given him a 5. Like, I'm sorry, the game went past him. Like it did. He just couldn't. I mean, the first 10 minutes, like I think it might be 20 minutes in, and Stell made a comment on live stream like, "There's Noble touched the ball yet." They just passing and running rings around him.
Yeah.
There's games to play him. There's games not to play him, and that would have been a game to bring him off the bench because they've got that. I don't blame Noble. I sort of blame Moyes because Moyes should be tactically looking at it and going, "What is the team's strengths?" And if he looks at their team and gone, "They've got power, legs, and pace in the midfield," you wouldn't have picked him because he's not going to be able to compete with them legs. He's nearly 34. He's been playing football for first team football in the Premier League for 17 years. But that being said, he did struggle at times with the pace. He really did. So I've given him a 5.
Bit harsh, that is. Bit harsh. But let's have a look here. Stell, who you two are the best. And that's what I said. Thanks, Gary. But Noble 6, 7. Scott says Noble played quite well. It may have been his game, his best game in a year. He didn't miss every tackle like he usually does. Actually passed the ball forward a few times. 6 out of 10. 6. 6. He surprised me. 16 out of 30 as it's his number. I mean, he's supposed to be out of 10, Reese, but do what you want. Do what you want. Right, here we go. Matt, what he does bring is that Noble is not afraid to stomp on people to quit the other team from bullying. He will lay his force, that is for sure. Yeah. But we'll move on to his partner, which I definitely think this man's definitely missing his real partner, and it's Thomas Souček. Souček, as I said just a couple of seconds ago, I think he's missing his main man now, Declan Rice, isn't he? Hopefully Declan Rice is going to be back for the Burnley game. But on this game, what did you think of Thomas Souček?
Well, I mean, I gave him a 6.
Yeah.
He, as always, he covered a lot of ground, but like he's really is limited without Deck in the team. Like without Rice alongside him, he's probably that he knows, like he just, as I just said with Noble, like he hasn't got the legs, he can't cover the ground. So it's almost like he knows he can't overcommit going forward. He can't make them lung busting last gasp runs into the box to get on them crosses, because he knows if he doesn't get on that cross, like Noble's not going to have the legs to cover him behind him. So he's like, well, actually, I know I better not. I better sit back. That being said, he did spray some nice passes about. He did play some long balls. As always, he was up and down, got tackles in. It was good head defending. But
hopefully he's going to see his partner back, isn't he? Hopefully he's going to see this man back next week. I think we'll give him a massive list. And as you said, give him the freedom that he's had, which he hasn't had with Noble. That's for sure.
As I said, he's shackled playing with Noble. As horrible as it is, it may even be worth playing like Fornals alongside him. Like, just because Fornals can cover more ground, or Connor Coventry. Like, you're not going to get the best attacking out of. I know it's stupid because he's a defensive player, but he's a defensive player that's got, I think, 9 goals this season. Like, you're not going to get the best out of him without someone else.
Without his wingman there,
because he's doing like the extra running for Noble that Noble can't do anymore. But like you said, hopefully Rice is back. If not this week, maybe next week. Picturing training this week, running with the boys on the grass. So the sooner he gets back, the sooner we see some more potato salad.
Yeah, I agree. But let's see what you guys are saying. 6, 7. Souček was player of the game. He bossed the game like Declan Rice. 8 out of 10. Interesting. Scott 7. Souček 6. Totally limited without Declan. I agree. He needs to do much rather than be the spare man to get in the box. 7, love him. 2, he's tied down without Rice. Yeah, I agree. Souček was the commander out there. It was very clear that the game flowed through him. Huge defensive plays. Fornals is a menace. We'll get into Fornals in just a second. He's a difficult one, Fornals. I just don't think he had a good game. But without further ado, we'll get on to him then. It's that man, Pablo Fornals, who's going to split opinions. That's for sure, but that's what Pablo Fornals does, doesn't he? He splits opinions, but let's rate him. Matt, Pablo Fornals then. I thought this is one of his not so good games for West Ham. In my opinion, I thought he did his work hard job, but when we're playing a back five like defensively, we need these type of players. We only have 3 of them on the pitch: Lingard, Bowen, and Fornals. But we need them to do it attackingly, and none of them really did it attackingly. And I just feel he missed it, and he just kept giving the ball away. But what are you going to give him then, Matt?
I gave him a 6. I was debating between a 5 and a 6. I gave him a 6.
Yeah.
Right, it was actually like a really quiet game for him. Like, he did not, especially in the first half, he could not really get any influence on the attacking aspect of the game. Like, he was struggling. He gave the ball away a few times, but he's a Moyes player because he'll always make what he lacks sometimes in the technical side. He'll always make up on his effort. You know, so you can never fault him for that. He's one of those things that, wasn't expected of him when he got brought in. His work rate, his ethic, but he's come on leaps and bounds in that department. So I'll give him a 6. But like I said at the start, though, I don't think this was a great game. I don't think anyone had a great game for West Ham against Chelsea.
Agree. Yeah.
So 6. That might actually be a bit generous for him compared to how harsh been everyone else, but I was
Yeah,
debating between a 5 and a 6 and just said 6 at the last second. So
yeah, I would have said 5. In my opinion, it is split in the chat, but Anton says a solid 7. 4 now 7. 4 now is 5.5. Oh, we're going for the 0.5.
that's what I was sitting on, but we don't do 0.5, so I had to go between 5 and 6, and I gave him a 6.
Right, Luke, clarify for this. Is this? I think this is a -5 because there's a hyphen next to the 5, but then there's a hyphen after it. So confirm for us. Is that a -5? Getting to the point where effort isn't enough. I have passed an open pub more than he's passed to his own team. Yeah, this is definitely split the chat, that's for sure. But Scott's Fortnite is getting better and better, not always making the right decision offensively, but adds so much coming back. Not his best, but round miles, 7 out of 10. 5 is ours. That's what I give him. All the 0.5s are coming. We haven't had this many 0.5s on one. James is going for 4 now, 6.5. So how much is deck really worth with all these players missing? 120 million. That's a debate for another video, that's for sure. Well, I do 5s. Oh, Luke said 5. It's not -5. All right, 5. All right, we have clarified that it's a 5 now. But we've got 2 players left in the starting lineup then. And we'll start with as Clip says, the Mancunian Maradona. It's Jesse Lingard. 2 games in a row, not quite with it, Matt.
No, and it's interesting because, I mean, some people did make the point after the game against Chelsea that maybe he was sort of carrying a knock. I know that Moy said he just had cramp from the week before, but there was a lot of points, especially in the first half when we were watching him, he didn't look like he was running particularly freely. That being said, Chelsea really did. I think he had a mad bit of form for a couple of months where he was scoring every week. And I think people have, opposition teams have woken up and realised that he is actually a quality player. And so teams are now making the effort to double and even triple mark him.
Yeah.
To try and shut him out of the game. In the first half, there was 2 very good chances. Like I said, I penalised Ogbonna because he didn't take the one for the team. But there was twice in that first half where Lingard done well and was running at their back line, and then he just got taken out from behind. I think one he had his ankles kicked out, one he just literally got his shoulder pulled down. He didn't have a great game, Lingard, but he was the only one that was making a difference. He was one that looked like he was going to make a difference. He was the one that was having the bigger impact, getting on the ball more. But he did, he did struggle. It wasn't his best game, but he was the one that was going to make anything happen if it happened. So I gave him a 7. I think that's the highest I've given out. I think it's 3 7s, and that's the highest we've got this week. It wasn't a great performance.
No, not a great performance from any of the players out there. We didn't see the J-Lings today. The other day we didn't see that, but let's hope we can see it very, very soon. But not a great performance from him. But let's take some comments then and see what you guys say. So we're going Lingard 7, 7 for effort. He looked frustrated. Messi, Lingard 6. Jesse 6 only because they basically double teamed him. Maybe 7 because that half volley was close. Yeah, that was. Lingard 8. They were targeting him with fouls. Lingard 7 out of 10. Too bad he was always pulled back intentionally. Cough cough. Red card on every break. I like it, Scott. Yeah. I mean, Messi, Lingard. Yeah. Not quite Messi, Lingard in the last 2 weeks, but let's hope he can get back. He can get back to his best. But the last player in the starting lineup that we have to rate in this kind of midfield, in this kind of striker attack 3 is Jared Bowen. I mean, can't get given him much more than the others, really, can he?
No, it's a very average rated team this week. Another 6. It's just he was the furthest player forward, but he didn't really get much out of the team. There was a couple of times we realised if we played it over the top, we caused them problems, and that's when he sort of had his best. But a lot of the time, we either didn't have the ball or was trying to pass it through him. And to be fair, when they tried to pass it through the feet of Bowen, he either got fouled or they just tackled it off him. They mastered him quite well, to be honest. They really tried to nullify his threat. He didn't have much of an impact in either half. Like, he was trying, and you'll always never knock someone because they try. But as I said, we didn't have a great game, so it's hard to give everyone a good rating. I mean, he tried his best, but Chelsea, for all the ways that Lampard tacticked himself when he played us, Tuchel got it like spot on the first time. He knew what we were going to do, what we were going to try and play, how we were going to play, and he just almost like said to his defensive players, "This is what you've got to do to stop West Ham playing," and they done their jobs almost down to a T. So, and look, he's not a striker, so I could have marked him if he was an actual striker. I probably would have given him less. But he's played up front of the Championship, but he's not a striker. He's a wide winger / forward. So 6 probably seems about fair.
Yeah, I've got a bit of breaking news for you, Matt. Are you ready?
What have you got?
David Moyes has just been announced London Football Awards Manager of the Year. I'm not quite sure what this is. It's the London Football Awards, and he's been given the Manager of the Year award. He's nominated and he's been given it. So congratulations, Moisey. You've won that award, but the award he needs to win is the proper one, the proper Premier League Manager of the Year. But congratulations, Moisey, for that. Well deserved as well. What he's done with this team, very, very good. A nice bit of news there. When I just had a quick look.
Well, if we flick onto the other thing that just dropped in the chat, I think that's even stranger.
I flipped it off. Crazy fact time: of the last 8 red cards West Ham have received, 5 of them have been rescinded. Three of the 5 against the so-called Big 6 teams. That's a fact for you. That is a fact for you. Well,
it's mad,
it's mad.
It's just every time we get Ricardo at the moment, I was rescinded.
Mm-hmm.
But they have VAR now to stop rescinding cards. But that's the point of VAR, is it not? That's the point of the TV on the side of the pitch. And the problem is, right, until they start punishing referees, it's not going to make a difference. No. We'll get on to Kavanagh in a bit, but he's still reffing this weekend in the Premier League. They're not even dropped him down to the Championships. So what was it for him? Like, what's the point? Who was the referee? I don't know who the referee was in the VAR room. What's the point?
It was what was his name? Hang on, I'll find it. It was on the statement for the video I did just a second ago. But let me take some comments before that. Then Bowen 6 didn't do much to rate. Bowen 6, Bowen 7. There. Oh. Click that off. Scott says Bowen gives an effort, but he's not struggling. His consistency and accuracy are not a striker's. So as he's playing out of position, is a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's fair. What is this geezer's name? Peter Banks was in the VAR room. Peter Banks.
But they both got jobs this weekend. So what's the point? Like, there's no punishment for them for getting it wrong. Now, it's if buts, ands, or maybes. We were getting momentum. Chelsea was starting to get desperate. Could we have scored in the last 10 minutes? Maybe. Maybe not. Might not have made a difference. But the whole point of having VAR is that it fixes these things so that you don't then lose momentum and lose the game because of a dodgy decision. But they keep doing it. This is the second red card in a row. Is this the second one in a row we've received when they've both been overturned? The last red card, I think, of is Souček's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah. Let's have a look then at some comments. Luke says, Bowen 5, did he play? They had 3 centre-backs over 6 foot and we had a 5-foot striker, yet we still play cross into the box. Deserved. Yeah, David Moyes winning that award. Thoroughly deserved. I've just smashed a glass saucepan, Butterfingers.
Oh, no, Reece.
Damn it, Reece. You're doing the washing up and you've smashed it. Oh, you're in the bad books now. Oh dear. Scott says, I expect we'll continue to get red carded until we are out of the top 6. it is horrible. It is horribly clear that the league officials are biased against us. Moyes is changing it though slowly. He's doing the washing up. So Luke says, "Stop blaming the ref. They don't make the rules. That no one with a right mind can apply." I mean, they're not given the rules. I suppose that's their job, just to follow them. Really. Scott says,
but there's no
Moyes...
rule that says that's a foul. Like, that's the point. If he followed the rules correctly, that wouldn't have been overturned. Surely that's the point, because that goes to the League of Managers Association. That goes to PGMOL. I can't remember who's on the panel. I think it's like former refs and former players. You have to get 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
So, and they're not going to overturn a correct decision. So clearly they aren't doing the right decisions. It's just, I can understand with the handball a bit, because they have to follow the rules. But with something like that, it's like, well, if they said it's not a foul, why are we getting it in the first place?
Yeah.
Until refs get penalised for making bad decisions, it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, I agree. But Scott did say Moyes will not put up with the players moaning, whining or diving. Over time, the officials will realise that we play the game the right way and decisions will start going our way. Who's bad? Both my house, my saucepan. I didn't know whether it belonged to anybody, but it's yours. So, everything's done now. You've broke the saucepan, and life moves. So that's the starting 11 done, Matt. We will move on to the subs then. They were both given about 20 minutes at the end. We are going to rate them, and the first one out of the 2 flair players that Moyes checked on 20 minutes ago is that man, Saeed Benrahma. It was reported by a website that he was going to start. That was false. He didn't start. He got 15 minutes at the end. But what are we going to give him then, Matt? Now, you've gone harsh on him there. You've gone harsh.
Right, so...
Explain yourself.
I have gone harsher. I'll give him a 4. I have gone harsher than Lanzini, right? Because he's... For me, like, bearing in mind, Lanzini essentially came on for no ball, right? Lanzini was playing in a holding midfielder role, trying to dictate the play. Benrahma's come on as this wide forward that's supposed to be getting on the ball, making things happen, taking people on, putting in crosses, having shots, right? And he saw very little of the ball. Now, for me, as a creative attacking player, a la someone like a Dimitri Payet, if the ball's not finding you, you go and find the ball.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Like, he didn't go find the ball. And then when he didn't do anything with it. Like, don't get me wrong, I am like a really big fan. I think he will do well. I think he needs time to adjust and adapt, not just to the Premier League,
he needs
but
time
to
in the
David
starting
Moyes' style
lineup,
of
though,
tactics.
Matt, doesn't he?
He does.
He needs time in the starting lineup.
The problem is, I sat here earlier, I said about Balbuena coming in, and I've said everyone that stepped up this season's come in and put a good performance in. That 15 minutes, 20 minutes was shocking. Like, he didn't do any... If you're talking at the moment, if you're saying Lanzini... I won't include Yarmolenko because he's been injured. But if you're saying Lanzini, Fornals, Bowen, Lingard, Benrahma, and they're talking about Antonio getting back on the pitch again, right? And say Yarmolenko, right? They all do something different. They offer something different. And when they've had a chance, exactly barring Yarmolenko, that's why I didn't include him. When they've come on, they've done something to make you go, like, I'll give him a chance next game. Right now, no matter how many minutes he's getting on whatever he's doing, he's not doing anything. Even just, if he gets 30 seconds on the pitch, do something in those 30 seconds. Make just one really good pass. One good drive forward. Right? He's not doing anything at the moment that's going to make Moyes go, you deserve to start in front of Bowen, Fornals or Lingard.
One thing I did see, though, I thought we had no attacking intent in that game, and I think we can all agree on that. I thought just the first thing he did, he picked up the ball and drove forward. He lost it, he got it back. There was a bit of buzz around him. I can see what you're saying, but I'm not going to judge him until he gets a fair amount of games starting in the side. Yeah, I
think he's got the potential. He will do better, but we get, not just on this channel, but like the whole of like West Ham social media. Now, we all get inundated with Algerian fans.
Yeah.
right? Because it's Ben Rama, right? And they were like, "Oh, Moyes hates Ben Rama. You need to get rid of him. You need to sell him. He's no good for West Ham." Da 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 da. Right? They say all these things, and then in the 92nd minute, Ben Rama's got the ball 35 yards out. We've got one guy on the left wing where he is a bit further forward, one guy on the right wing. I think there's 4 blokes in the box. So his options are play the big raking ball to the right hand side to switch the play, work an overlap 1-2 or something with the guy on the left. I think it might have been Johnson. Or he had 4 players in the box. And what did he do? He stuck it in row Z. He went, I've not scored a goal all season, so I'm going to shoot from 35 yards and forget the rest of my teammates. I'd have been less annoyed if he literally just chucked the ball in the box and they headed it back out, because that's what the tactic we were playing.
Yeah.
Or bring it forward 10 yards further forward into a reasonable shooting range and then have a shot. That far out, unless you're going to do like Lanzini's wonder goal, which is like a 1 in a million, like a 1 in a lifetime goal, you're not scoring it. And that's the reason at the moment that he's not getting the playing time. Because when Moyes sees that, Moyes is like, that was potentially our last attack of the game. I know there was like another 6 minutes of added time, but we were down to 10 men. And
a very, very stupid decision, wasn't it? And I can see that. It's just a thing.
I think he'll come good. I think he will with time. I think we'll get the time, but he needs to decision making needs to be improved. He's too anxious to get that first goal. That's all.
He's just trying too much. Let's take some comments. Anton's agreeing with you and saying 4. Ben Rama looked dangerous. Didn't pull anything off really. So a 5. Benny 5. Ben Rama 7, but needs to move in closer and then shoot. Benny 4, gave the ball away too much, but Chelsea did play 8 at the pack for the last 20 minutes.
They did. Yeah. And that's why you need him. That's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be one of the guys that can unlock a defence. But like I said, I think the time will get there. But maybe he just needs more time to adapt. Because don't forget, he came from a very attacking 3-4-3, 4-3-3. They played at Brentford last season, where he had Mwembu and his mind. As soon as I go to say his name, his mind. The guy now plays up front for Aston Villa.
Tony.
Watkins. Yeah. So he was used to playing this all-out attacking, brilliant passing football. Moyes has now brought him into this deep lying wait and then counter attack. So he's got used to depth to it, but I just don't think that. I think he's had some good games this season. I just don't think that was one of them. Yeah.
Let's continue with the comments then. Neil says he's beginning to lose faith with Ben Rama. I'll lose faith with Ben Rama when he doesn't play well with a good considerable amount of time starting. Luke says I think Benny should be sacked. Didn't come on with 20 minutes. Didn't come on with 20 minutes to come and didn't win the game versus a team that has 28 clean sheets this season.
Did I expect him to score or assist? No, but I expect him to do something. That's what's coming on. I think.
Yeah.
You would be saying that if he went in? No.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't.
Yeah, very true. Scott says I had a lot of hope for Benny, but in the last 4 games, I'm starting to feel that he won't make it in this league. He'd almost had a year of training with Moyes and team, and he still hasn't done it. Well, it's splitting the fan base, as several players that spring to mind have before. But that's a little Ben Rama debate that we'll put to the side. A nice Ben Rama debate there. And we'll move on to the second player that came on at the same time. Another flair player. Matt's gone for a little bit of a higher rating here. It's Manuel Lanzini. Manuel Lanzini. I'm gonna say he didn't do a huge amount more than Ben Rama, but you have given him a 6, Matt.
Yeah, so this is a prime example, and I really hope Moyes paid attention to it, because I know this was against Chelsea, but when we play in the quote-unquote lesser teams, like the bottom 8 teams, we don't it's different if you're playing Rice and Souček, because Souček still does a lot going forward. But when you're playing Noble and Souček's having to sit and not go forward, it's almost worth not playing Noble, because Lanzini essentially came on for the last 15 minutes when we were chasing the game, and he actually made things click. He did what I thought Ben Rama would do. Admittedly, he was sitting deeper, so he was getting more of the ball, But he was picking up the ball. He was turning. He was passing forward. He was making the clever passes. He was trying to get the engine ticking over, and he was trying to make things happen. It's what I thought Benrahma was going to do coming off the wing. But it did prove that if we played like say we're going to Burnley, we've got Burnley Saturday, I would be more confident right now playing Lanzini alongside Souček than I would Noble, because he's about as mobile as Noble. But in an attacking sense, if you're gonna make Souček sit and sacrifice his attacking sense, at least with Lanzini on, you've got that passing vision. Look, he's always had the technical ability, Lanzini, but that injury in 2018 when he should have gone to the World Cup ruined him. Like, he's not physically the same player.
Yeah.
And if you could try and manipulate him into like a deep line, like a Pirlo, and just say you sit that back alongside a holding midfielder and you spray the balls, it's not going to work against the big teams, because against the bigger teams that are going to attack you more, you need to defend. So that's when you would want to bring, like, say, one Rice is injured, bring a Noble in, or you would play Rice and Souček. But say we're playing an attacking team, say Rice was fit, I'd play Lanzini over Fornals to start with, because Lanzini's off him more going forward. His vision and his ability and technical ability on the ball has always been there. The frustration with him is that he's not mobile enough, and if he doesn't want to play, like, you can see it when he comes on the pitch sometimes, he's just not interested. And you'll think, well, that's just like, there's no point in being on the pitch. But he came on, it's like Moyes said to him for that game, when he came off the bench 15 minutes to go, this is your chance to show you're worth starting in the team again. And he went and grasped that 15 minutes, done the most he could with the ball when he had it. Which for me was almost like the total opposite of what Benrahma did, which is why he got a 6 and Benrahma got a 4.
Well, Luke has contradicted you and said Lanzini 3. Anonymous, just go, mate. At least I think he means Benrahma tried. Scott says Lanzini is starting to look better and better, but he will never be the same player. He can't do it on his own, but he is more defensively responsible than in the past. I agree. A 6. So we're going 6, 7. Gave us a boost before the red card. I agree. 5 says Reese, if the comment will click. There it is. Everything's been a bit slow tonight. Reese says no more smashed utensils and the washing up is done. Thanks for the update. Very much appreciated. Time to sit back and relax, Reese, and watch West Ham United. I couldn't think of anything better. But I mean, we've got to rate him, haven't we? But not a huge amount done in the game. Ben Johnson. Should we just go NA and move on, Matt?
Yeah, I felt sorry for him. I really did. Because, I mean, to be fair, it may have been a bit of a wake-up call for him. You know, he might have thought that he was safe to start again because he's proven himself more reliable on the left-hand side. But Frederick's come into the game and done really well. So that would have put it up against Johnson again. That he's got, you know, competition for that sort of utility spot. But he literally came on when they sent off La Buena. So straight away, he came on thinking, I'm going to get some chances to get attacking on the right-hand side of that back 5. And he's like, no, you're playing left back now in the back 4. And then we just, that was like, that was it. We had like one attack. And after that, we just defended for like 20 minutes because we were down to 10 men. So you can't really rate it.
Yeah. It's another N/A on the board
for the late subs. Yeah.
Yeah. Reese says now time to cook. Someone have to get the fire brigade on standby. Oh, Reese, I'm sure the cooking ain't that bad. I'm sure you'll cook up a storm. I'll tell you what. I might be able to give some of you some tips. I'll start cooking in Food Tech tomorrow. Making some sort of risotto tomorrow. So I'll update you on how that goes. I mean, I didn't even know what a risotto was 2 days ago, but I do now, and I'm making it tomorrow. But NA for Johnson for me, yeah. We will leave it at that. But there's 2 people left to rate. One is going to get, I'd say, an all right rating, and then it's going to go right down, and you know who that's going to be. We're going to have the debate until we get to the hour mark, but we'll start with the gaffer, and then we'll get it fiery. It's David Moyes first. So, David Moyes, starting lineup, subs result. Give us a quick overview of David Moyes and a rating, Matt.
Well, he's got his tactics now. He's got his formation. We either play the 4 at the back or the 5 at the back.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, with the really core injuries we've got, Souček, Rice, and then both the left backs, he was really sort of forced into formation and team, really. He picked the best he could in certain positions, but you can't fault him for that. For the subs as well, I may have made them slightly earlier, but when it was like 20 minutes to go and he brought on 2 attacking midfielders and took off Noble, I was like genuinely shocked.
I was like, he's going for it.
Moyes had like a brain freeze or an aneurysm or something. Because I saw Noble come off with 20 minutes to go and an attacker came on. I was like, all right.
This is new.
Yeah, this is something Moyes doesn't do, so I can't really fault him.
No.
He tried to make the best out of the situation. As I said, it was a very weird game. I don't think either team particularly played well. I think I said on the live stream that I thought a draw would have been a fair result. I don't think anyone done enough to really win it or lose it.
I think so Chelsea just did enough there.
I think I'd give Moyes an 8. Like, I don't think
it's the highest rating. Is that? I think that's the highest rating going to the gaffer.
I think if we had better players, you would have seen a better game. I think if Rice and Souček and Creswell were available, it would have been not even like necessarily Masuaku, just Creswell to play left of that back 3. And then to do those deep lying crosses, Antonio up front and Rice in the middle, we would have seen a lot of better games. So I think Moyes done the best with the lineup he had. I think 8's fair.
Yeah, Mark's gone from Moyes 9 with this battered lineup. Yeah, it's had to be rotated. Moyes 8 was proud that he brought on attacking subs. Wasn't his fault that Balbuena got a red. And we've got an update on the cooking. Reece says, I'm thinking a bacon sandwich or a chicken dipper sandwich with not just chicken dipper sandwich with spices. Oh, I like it, Reece. I like it. Some very technical. Hello. Oh, I clicked on that a bit too early there. We'll get to him in just a second. We're going to get to it now then. So we're giving David Moyes an 8 for his subs and all of that jazz. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to rate Chris Kavanagh. Kavanagh. Oh, I ain't got a clue.
Chris Kavanagh.
Chris Kavanagh. Right, Matt, over to you, my friend.
You know what? Before, was it the 82nd or 83rd minute?
Am I going to have to press minus on my keyboard here?
I was probably going to give him about a 6 or a 5. Because for the most part, he was okay. He tried to let the game run when possible. There was some iffy decisions. I thought maybe he could have given out some more cards to Chelsea, but it's a big 6 team, so you're always going to get that sort of thing.
Yeah.
He didn't have the best angle for the handball with Aspilicueta. It didn't get referred to. There's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm thinking, you know what? He'd get about a 5 or a 6. He's actually had not a bad game. Like, his name wasn't on the top of my head as the game was playing. And normally they say when you're not talking about the ref or the ref's name, then he's doing a good game. So, Then he gave that red.
Minus?
And he viewed it 15 times.
Here we go.
At like 50 frames a second on the television. Like, he gets a 0 because it's only it's 0 to 10, isn't it? It's 0. I don't think I've given a 0 ever, as far as I know.
No,
it's
I don't
a 0. Like, proven by the fact that West Ham appealed it today and was like, yep, and it's already been overturned. How?
This is going to cover up our
play with whoever the VAR official was for even making him review it. So he shares it with them, but he had the TV to go and look at it. Right? I haven't seen a single pundit or former player that has said that's a red. When the betting companies are making fun of you on Twitter because how bad the decision was, you know you've messed up. Like, when they're saying, Premier League players are relieved to find out Balbuena's red card's been overturned, so they know they're allowed to kick a football again. Like, what? For a referee, he's clearly never played the game. Like, there was nowhere else he could put his foot. But as Ant said on the live stream, he didn't go up to that VAR to the TV going, right, what's the situation, what's happened, what could he have done, what could not happen. He literally went up and went, am I giving a red or not? And went, well, his foot's high. There's studs there. Yeah, it's a red.
Right, let's see what you guys are saying. Let's have a look. Oh, no, I know. So, 0. And then Anton went, for God's sake. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. There's about 300 zeros there. And that sums up perfectly. Ref, -10, -1. Negative integer. The ref ruined the game. -15, -1, and then a lot of zeros. To be fair, I felt like we were coming back before that red. My issue is that Christensen should have been booked 2 yellows before half and third seconds. But now, there we go. That's the lowest rating that we're probably ever going to have on West Ham United's player rating.
Unless we get really mad and someone managed to get a minus, but we haven't gone there yet.
And it's time to rate us. Anton's left us on to the last 2 people rating. Come on, see, he's even done us graphics for it. Look at these. Look at these. Honestly, look. Every time I look at this, it gives me nightmares. Look at
It could not have picked like a pair of worse pictures. Yeah, Henry couldn't have picked any worse pictures.
Oh, just look at that. Imagine looking at that before you go to bed, crikey. But yeah, time to rate the house. If you've enjoyed today's video, smack a like on it, subscribe to West Ham Unofficial if you want. Oh, we're being told to send new ones, Matt. Oh dear. Let's have a look. Jake and Matt, epic, thanks lads. 10 for both. Oh, look at that. We've never had that before, Matt. We must be doing something right. 10.1 out of 10. We must be doing something right. Yeah, great picture. We're saying great picture, Matt.
Horrible picture.
Oh, dear. Jake and Matt, 10. More wins, please. Here we go. I like this. Words and pictures comes in. Jam, 10. It works. It works. I mean, what people come up to on the internet is funny, but that is where we're going to end off this player rating show. We'll be back next week for another player rating show to rate every single player, the ref, Moyes, and the subs for West Ham versus Burnley. So the breaking news has come out in the last couple of hours. Balbuena's red card has been overturned. David Moyes has won some Manager of the Year London thing, which is all good. Thank you very much. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to West Ham Unofficial. Check out all my videos, especially I did one with West Ham clips. We're trying to get that up to 1,000 views. It's inching closer. So and clips is class in it. I mean, it's all clips. I'm just gonna have a look how many that is on. He is class clips, that's for sure. That video is on 941, so we need another 60 to get that up to 1,000. So if you could go and watch that, that would be greatly appreciated. But Matt, thank you as always for doing the player rating show this week, and let's hope for a win next week.
That's all we can say. It's hope for a win.
We'll leave it there. Come on, your ends, and goodbye.